Yaritza, the podcast that dives deep into the inspiring world of women of color in the edtech industry. It's raw and authentic. There is no format, right? The best kind of professional development and conversations are those that are unscripted. Today's guest is not only shaping futures, she's redefining the urban runway while doing it. A true fashionista, she's bringing style, innovation, and accessible glamour to the forefront of tech and beauty. Whether she's experimenting with wearable tech or making luxury feel lived in, for everybody in every budget, she embodies brilliance with a bold sense of purpose. Get ready to talk about beauty, business, and AI. But let's make it fashion with Damaris Carr. Damaris, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Of course. Well, tell the audience, who is Damaris Carr?
Well, Damaris Carr is a girl that has always loved makeup, fashion, just glitz and glam from a very young age. I work in the beauty industry. I've worked in the fashion industry for over 15 years. I believe that it's all accessible. I'm passionate about sharing my knowledge about fashion and about beauty. I can talk about that all day. So it's literally one of my biggest passions.
I love that. Guys, what you don't know is I've known Damaris for a very, very, very long time.
Don't
I've
say
known,
that long. I'm not that old. Ye-
listen, but when we talk about fashion and makeup, like Damaris is my go-to. I feel like with her, it's not just traditional. It's creativity, it's innovation. It's I'm going to style myself however I feel for the day. She makes a sweatpants and a t-shirt look banging with some earrings and a necklace. That is Damaris. And I know that some of you are probably just like, why are we even talking about fashion with tech? A large part of technology is just about innovation, right? And I feel like that is perfectly in line with fashion. So I want to get into this conversation because I'm excited. And I know most of you who are tuning in want to know what this connection is all about. So Damaris, please help us out with this. How do you define accessible glamour? And in what ways have you reimagined beauty and fashion to make them more inclusive, especially for us, women of color?
First of all, I believe that glamour is accessible to everyone. I'm very passionate about that. I don't care if you don't have a lot of money. I don't care if you do have a lot of money. You might not be glamorous. I feel like it's no price on glamour. Glamour is accessible to everyone. I do feel like tech has made us feel like you have to be in this box of being perfect, and I'm like outside of that. So I don't like to do too much editing when I do an Instagram video. I don't like to be like too perfect. I want the everyday woman to feel like glamour is accessible. And glamour is accessible because one thing about getting into the makeup industry, what fascinated me is that I feel like it is affordable luxury, right? Because we have affordable luxury. And I feel like you might not be able to buy that Chanel bag, but I remember buying my first Chanel lip gloss and feeling amazing. Like I was in Chanel. So makeup is an accessible, glamorous luxury, and that's why I said there's no price on it. The girl might not be able to buy that Chanel bag, but she might be able to afford a Chanel lip gloss. Not that I'm giving Chanel any credit for they're the only ones that do glamour, but it's just designer. You might not be able to buy that designer bag, but you can buy designer makeup.
Yeah.
So it's accessible. That's why I always feel like it doesn't cost a lot because if I'm being real with you, glamour is about being your own muse. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. It's about being your own muse. When you wake up every day, you should be inspired by yourself because muses are inspired by someone. I'm inspired by myself when I wake up every day. What you said, I dress for whatever mood I am in. Like I wore sweatpants and a t-shirt for my birthday because that's the mood I was. I wanted to be comfortable, but I still made it glamour. Like I still accessorized. Glamour has no one look. Glamour is a state of mind.
Mm.
And it's crazy because I just started to understand that in my later age. That because I never understood what exactly I liked.
Mm-hmm.
about like a woman, like women. I would see women when I was younger, and I was like, it's not that she's just pretty. Glamour is everything you do around yourself and your beauty. Like I said, you wake up every day your own muse.
Love
So
that.
tech can add to that because it can, we have that in the palm of our hands to put together a look from tech, but sometimes tech can also damage that because sometimes people feel like you look at Instagram and you look at all the and things are so perfect. Things could be so
Yeah.
perfect with AI. It could be perfect. So, it's a good thing, but you got to be careful how you use it at the same time.
I'm glad that you touched on that because I was a high school teacher and a lot of the female students, it was always like makeup, 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 makeup. And I used to just wonder like how do they define what beauty is, right? And with just things being accessible online, like you said, it could be either hindrance or it could be like really positive with people discovering what works best for their skin tone, what looks right, or even try it on virtually before having to go to the store, right? But then we have this notion of what perfectionism is, and this person may look really perfect, but it's a filter, right? And obviously, if you're using a filter, there's for two reasons. One, you're just probably just fooling around and you want to just use the filter. But two, you're probably just not satisfied with how you look in the camera that specific day. So thank you so much for adding on to that. And please define glamour for us again.
The glamour, you are your own muse. I feel like glamour is what you build around your beauty. As I was saying, when I was younger, I was always into beautiful women, but it wasn't just pretty women because, you can be pretty and be boring, right? You can be pretty with your pretty face and there's nothing interesting about you. That's a
Mm-hmm.
difference. A glamorous woman is interesting. She's intriguing. You want to talk to her. You want to know what made her wear her nails that way. You want to know what made her wear her brows. Because we don't, when you're glamorous, you don't really go by trends. You go by how you feel. Like I said, you wake up every day. I'm my own muse. You know what? Today I'm feeling like I want some razzle dazzle. I want to put some sparkle in my eyes. I want
Yeah.
to, I want to, I want to off the shoulder shot. I want to feel real sassy, like I think that's what glamour is. Glamour is really being your own muse, waking up every day and being inspired by you. And especially, I stress this to my women of color because we are so many people muses that won't admit it. We need to start waking up being our own muse. People want their lips like us, they want our hips, they want our butt. We need to start waking up and being our own muse because we're a muse to so many people around that, like I said, they won't admit it, but we're a muse to society.
Oh, I'm glad you said
So,
that.
so that's what I try to convey. Like I always tell, like I said, especially women of color, we can all be, glamorous. We wake up. Let's wake up being our own muses. You are your own muse. I wake up every day and I'm inspired by me. I do my makeup not because I'm insecure and because I feel like I want to cover this and because I want to look perfect. I'm inspired. You know what? I want a nice cat lash. I want, like I said, glitter on my eyes. I'm inspired by me. I'm building around my beauty. That's all. I'm enhancing and I'm building around it. But no, I'm not insecure. No, I don't feel like I need things. And, but it's about building around something so beautiful, which starts with you, which starts within, and that's what I really feel like. I went on about glamour because I just realized that because in my adult life, because I didn't understand it. I was like, I've always been, I've always loved beautiful women, but it wasn't just the beautiful women. And when I think about it now, it was everything that woman did around her beauty, how she was inspired around her looks and all the things she did around her looks. And to me, that is glamour.
Oh, yeah. That is definitely glamour. Well, you're a creative powerhouse, right? When I think of fashion, as I mentioned at the beginning of this session, I immediately think of you. How do you see AI shaping the way that we dress, the way we shop, the way we express ourselves? And how are you already blending that into basically your daily life?
Well, AI is controlling us more than we think because my algorithm is on Instagram. All the outfits is showing me going on sites after. And that is a big way. Like, you look at certain things, your phone know what you look like, what you're looking at, and it's gonna keep giving it to you. It's gonna keep giving it to you, and it's inspiring you. Like it's inspiring you. Like sometimes my algorithm, the things that come up, I can't put my phone down. We wonder why we can't put our phone down. Oh, I was looking for a shirt like this, or I like this, or this is touching my
Mhm.
style, and you can't put your phone down. That is
Yeah, that's
AI.
me. That's me. You just scroll and scroll and scroll, and you went
And
looking
it
for a
just keep
picture.
giving you something else, and it keeps giving you something else. It's like, okay, we know what you like. We know how to catch your eye. I know how to get you.
Catch
You
your eye
know,
in your wallet.
yes,
Because
your eye
I
and your
know
wallet.
My PayPal hate to see me coming because I just be on Instagram just tapping, yes, and put it in a cart. Oh yeah.
Yes, I think that is one of the biggest ways AI is influencing us. By just our algorithm and the things that we like, and it's showing us the things that we like. It's inspiring us without even us knowing. Like I said, you pick up your phone, you keep going. How I feel like it's innovative. I love mood boards. I love being able to, because to be real with you, a lot of women don't like trying clothes on. Like some women have full on anxiety about trying clothes on. My daughter being one of them, I have a 17-year-old. She's in that space of, no, but that wouldn't look right on me. How do you know? How do you know if you didn't try it on? How do you know? That is like what I have to, but you would be surprised. Like she's 17, but I have grown women who feel like that. They're like, I'm not going in there. There's nothing's going to look right on me. But what AI does, with that, I feel like you can see what things look like on you because, like you can see what things look like on your body without even having to go to the store, and that's in the palm of your hand, and you can put together outfit and be like, oh, let me put this on my body, and oh, that does look nice, and maybe you will actually go then try it on as well. But I feel like that is such a great way, especially mood boards are really 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 great tool for not only someone like me to show someone the outfit, but also for someone to play and put together things. That's another thing my daughter does. She's like, I feel like I want this look, and she'll create a mood board on what she thinks and play with it. So,
Love
AI can really get you out your fashion box in that way. I think it's innovative like that. Because like I said, so many women will see something and say, no, I don't want to try that on. It's not going to look right on me. Well, pull it up. Let's see what it's going to look like on you.
Right.
That's amazing.
I love it. Listen, I don't know if you've been on, have you like thought about like engagement rings and stuff? Or maybe I'm just a little weird. I'm not even in a relationship and I'm looking at engagement rings. But on some of these jewelry websites, you use AI. You literally take a picture of your hand and it tries on the rings for you and sends you the images of how the ring will look on your hand. I said,
Wow, you're starting some.
thinking about the future. I have like 6 images already saved to my phone so that whoever's the next man to come, I'm just like, look, if you're thinking about what kind of rings to get me.
It's beautiful. I know women who hate their ring. They love, the fact that, they got married, but they're like, this is not my style. So that is, and that's a ring that you have to be with forever. So
See
I
upgrading.
definitely feel like it's not a shallow thing to be like, this is the ring style I want. I have to wear this forever, so I just feel like it's not a shallow thing. It's actually very smart. Like you said, just it's not you're telling him how much to spend. You're just saying, I like this style,
Yeah.
just find
Yeah.
whatever your budget is, find something in this style because this is what I like. And it's important because you have to wear it every day and love it. So
You
that is
have to
another
love it.
smart thing. Yeah,
Right.
you
You
have to
have to
love
love
it.
it. And it shows for me, I learn more about my personality by what I wear, how I shop, the things that I like. Like I know I can dress really professional one day and then the next day I could look like Lord, like what happened to her, right? And it's just this is just how I'm feeling. This is how I want to present myself. But having the opportunity to be able to just do it, right? There's no right or wrong way to be a fashionista or to wear clothes, or like you said with glamour, right? There's no right or wrong way. It's
No
however
right or wrong.
you're feeling. But did you have you and I know I'm taking us a little off course, but hear me
Hmm.
out.
Yes.
Have you thought about doing like tutorials online with how to do successful mood boards?
You know what? I never thought about that. Never thought about that. But that is really interesting. I never thought about how to teach someone how to do a successful mood board. I'm just
Yeah.
like, do a mood board,
No, I think
show me what it is. But like you said, someone could not understand how to really create a mood board.
right.
Like
And
some people don't even understand what the mood is. So you're right.
they
Even coach, because sometimes I have to coach the mood out of people. So
right.
seriously, some people really don't even know the mood. They can't describe the mood. Like
I
sometimes
know.
I tell, like, how do you want to feel? What do you want to? So how do you want to look? How do you want to feel? How do you want to like? What do you want people to think when you walk in a room? All of that you're creating a mood. And sometimes people really have to. Like, I didn't think about all that. Oh, that is a mood. I didn't think about what my mood is. Again, that's another thing about a glamorous woman. She's always a mood.
Hello.
She's always a mood
Hello.
or a vibe. Some the younger kids say too. Vibes. You're a vibe, right?
Such a vibe.
Such a
But
vibe.
I think that you would be an amazing tutor, especially in that aspect. Like I know a lot of women who they have a ton of clothes, right? And they're overthinkers. And it's like, because I'm an overthinker, I don't know if I should wear this gown or just this regular dress, or if I should do jeans and pumps. So, like, showing people how to do it and how to discover, hey, here's these 6 outfit ideas that you can have for this one occasion and then choose or mix and match. I think that'd be perfect, especially coming from you because you're so open minded and you have
Yes.
patience.
So I do have patience for fashion. I
Hello.
have patience for fashion.
You're just emphasizing
I got a T-shirt that says that I have patience for fashion.
patience for fashion. But since we're on the topic of creating things, I wanted to ask you if you could dream of a piece of just wearable tech that is equally beautiful and brilliant, what would it look like? Like, who would it serve and would it kind of like solve a problem?
I think it probably would be like a pair of glasses that you can put on and think about your outfit, and then it knows like what you're thinking, and it can give you suggestions like on your phone.
Like a mom,
Like a fashion mind reader, like a tech of like,
what? Throw it on and be like, and then pick up the phone and be like,
right. Wouldn't that be cool?
yeah,
That would
I
be so
love
cool. That would be so cool.
love that. I even used with you saying that, I thought about, there being some people who don't like to leave their homes, right? And just being able to put on this set of glasses and just think about what they might look like in certain outfits, right? That might help
Hmm.
people who suffer from depression to just to see yourself in different images, or to be able to shop, just a thought. Or if you're an overthinker and you're like, oh, this sounds crazy, but then put on the glasses and it shows you what it is that you're thinking about. I like that,
Right.
Damaris. I like that. Hmm.
I'll wake up straight in the morning and put them glasses right on.
I wouldn't even
Before even morning coffee, I'm
right.
putting my glasses on while I'm while I'm drinking my morning coffee.
And it'll relieve so much stress.
It would.
Let's save some
It
time.
would. It would. It relieves so much stress. And that's like it's almost like having your personal stylist, you know, with you,
Ooh,
you
you better
know?
you better think about that. You better think about that. And then you can leverage AI to help you create the blueprint for it with your design. But that's a conversation
Right.
for another day. I got to bring you back on the show so we could talk about, the
Yes.
steps you already took for your business. All right. I know on Instagram, you share a lot about not only fashion, but things that you might be going through personally, some discoveries that you've made. So you definitely use Instagram, and I know that for sure. And I know that you use it to empower other people through style, storytelling. How do you intentionally amplify underrepresented voices in both the beauty space as it relates to the tech world?
Well, like I
The
said
tech world could
before,
be
the tech world could be a great place, but it could be a cold place. I am not about perfection. You know what my MySpace, remember MySpace back in the day? My name was Beautiful Imperfection. That was my name, my screen name, Beautiful Imperfection. And I think that what I trying to hold to on my space, my platform, is not having to be perfect, because AI and all of these things can make us feel like we have to be perfect. Even just having the perfect outfit. Like some people could be like, oh, is it really that serious to go on AI to find out? Like having the perfect outfit. You don't, I'm very vocal about imperfection. I find beauty in imperfection. Like I do. Like that's why my name was Beautiful Imperfection, because I feel like I'm not perfect, but I'm still beautiful. I'm still glamorous, you know? So I find that, I use my platforms to convey to women like you don't have to be perfect. You don't. You don't have to be perfect. I post, I talk sometimes with no filter. Sometimes I'm talking in a bed with a headscarf, or first thing in the morning, I still sound like last night and I'm having a conversation in my stories. I'm telling you something, but I feel like that's what's relatable to people. Because sometimes with technology and AI, you feel like I'm not just going to go online and start talking and look crazy. You feel like you have to be perfect. And no, things don't have to be perfect. People will relate to you more with your imperfections than you being perfect. Because sometimes perfection, it's intimidating, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So I just feel like I just always want to be myself and as real as I can be online. Yes, I might throw a filter on sometimes, but you know what I always say? It's funny. I'm just like, I throw a filter on sometimes because maybe I'm having a bad skincare day, I got a pimple or something. But I don't feel I feel like there are people who take filter to real life. Their whole life is filtered. Be yourself. I'm exactly who I am in person is who I am online. And that's what I just hope that when people on my platform, that's what they feel. Like even with the tech world, I'm not trying to use technology for perfection. I believe in life, there's no such thing as perfection. I tell my daughter that all the time. Practice can make you really good, but that whole practice makes perfect. There's no such thing as perfection. But that's the beauty in life sometimes, you know? Like I said, sometimes our little imperfect quirks, like, is what makes us beautiful. So I don't want AI to get in the way of that and making people feel like, because you can get addicted to that, you know? You can look however you want to look online. Your body can look however you want it to look online. It's crazy.
Yeah,
So I really try to hold my space. Like you don't have to be perfect. I don't always want to put out perfect content. I don't, you know? So, like I said, AI can be a great thing, but it also can be a little toxic if you get too deep into it, you know?
I definitely agree. In my line of work, I technically use AI every day, and I've been using AI for the past 3 years because of the companies that I've worked for. And it's just you decide how much of it you want to be exposed to and how much you're going to expose other people to. Like for my daughter, she doesn't leverage AI. Although she has technology, I make sure that everything is on parental controls on her end, right? Because I know that our phones are listening to our conversations. I know, that sparks all the ads and the commercials and everything else. And I just feel like we have to choose who we're going to expose AI to, but also teach how to properly use AI,
Right.
right? AI is not meant to be used for everything. Like I do a lot of parent workshops and we do fun things. Like I remember I helped somebody do a vacation. He was like he wanted to do a family vacation with his wife, but he's like, but I gotta bring them damn kids. So I was like, let's look up something and it affordable. And it popped up in 3 seconds. And he was like, I never even thought about going to the Bahamas, right? So I could do that. Had another parent say, "Hey, I want a fitness journey, and I want to make sure that I'm eating right, right? But I want a realistic fitness journey. I want realistic vegetables and fruits that are in a Brooklyn supermarket. Like I don't want it to create something that that's fictitious or things that I have to spend $20 to $25 on that I can't afford, I need to also be on a budget. And we leveraged AI for that. But I also love the fact that you just talked about the fact that we don't have to be perfect. And when I have conversations with new teachers, I always say it's okay to make mistakes in front of students. They want to see you make mistakes because what we say all the time is if you make a mistake, that's fine. You could keep trying until you get it right. But yet, when we become teachers, it's like you want to be perfect and you want to be that person in front of the classroom that students are saying, they know all the answers. My go to was always, I don't know, but we want to find out together. And I would know the answer, but it's just the idea of let me help you find it and let me show you how to look for it. That way we can both, learn from each other. I know our conversation got a little deep just now. So
No, but I agree. I agree with everything you said. I love it. And, I speak to being a mom because, again, and that's a big part of who I am as well as a mom. But that's also what I teach my daughter. How you said you teach your students. I always tell my daughter, I'm not perfect. Like I said, I teach her no such thing as perfection. I'm not perfect. If I make a mistake, if I do something, let me know. Let me know. You know what I mean?
let me
I
know.
Yes, please let me know. That was one of the first things I thought about when becoming a parent is like, I don't want my child to ever think that I'm perfect and I know it all. And because I've learned so much from my daughter as well. She taught me things that I didn't know. So, and good things about AI and bad things about AI as well. Because the
Hello.
kids, they know how to use AI.
Of
Because I
course.
gotta control it with her too. Because sometimes AI is the answer for everything,
Everything.
everything. So, like you said, I think that's really good as far as like you said, teaching how to be responsible and using it. And like to me, that's kind of along the same what I was trying to say. Like I just teach people like I don't use AI to be perfect. We can utilize it and like you said, it can be a great thing but as far as me wanting to look perfect all the time and snatched and chiseled and this and that and enhancing everything, like no, I'm not using it for that. I'm
Yeah.
not, and I don't feel like people should feel pressure to use it for that as well. Like, we're still human. So let's remember that. We're still human beings. Being your being, being your being. We're
Being your
human being, being your being.
being your being.
Yes, I learned that from Kirk Franklin. Being your being. He's
Hello.
like, we are not the things we do. Being your beings. We are like being your being is different than things that you do and materialistic things. Your being is something different. So I do love that.
All right. I'm bringing us. All right, let's just have some fun, okay? I want to play a
Okay.
game. It's called Tech the Runway, and you're gonna have the opportunity to choose between two glam innovation mashups. So I'll just quickly like go through the two, and then you choose one and the reason why, right?
Okay.
So the
Okay.
purpose of this game is for me to bring out your creative edge, but also to learn more about your taste and your curiosity. You ready?
Fun.
All right. So the first one, a virtual closet powered by AI or a holographic dressing room mirror. Huh.
I would definitely say a holographic dressing room mirror.
How
I'm
come?
all about a mirror. If you see how many mirrors I had around my place, oh, you love a mirror.
I want to.
I
I
do.
want. I wonder if that holographic mirror could speak to you, right? Like give you some. Oh
You
yes.
know what? That's not impossible because um I was watching something like it was like a commercial on a Kardashians, hate to mention them, but the mom had a holographic um uh she had a holographic image of her, like her kids thought it was really her. And she had somebody bring it and it was her talking to them because she was like, I can't be in two places at once. So I'm kind of trying to see if I can. And they rolled it in and it was a holographic like pop up and it was like talking to her kids. So it's not that far off of having a holographic mirror. I would definitely love that. I would love that because like I said, I love a mirror. I feel like I can just see it more that way, versus having a closet,
Yeah.
AI closet. Nah, I would like the holographic mirror. I love a mirror.
And it'll get all angles. That's true. I agree. All right.
Yeah.
I agree. All right. Number two, mood detecting lashes or color shifting nails that sync to music.
You said what lashes?
detecting. So if you're
Oh,
happy,
mood.
maybe your
How you
happiness.
said, how long you said you knew me? You already know what I love. I don't go nowhere without my lashes. Absolutely mood detector lashes. I need it because sometimes I want them really flirty to bath them. Sometimes I want them really sultry because I'm feeling really sultry. So I want a cat eye lash. So that is totally up my alley because
I'll say that.
I wear lashes. Yeah, you know I was. I wear lashes according to that. Definitely lashes.
Okay. All right. Number three, a 3D printing gown for every body type, or AI curated runway show spotlighting diverse creators. So a 3D printed gown?
Definitely the runway show.
How come?
No, the runway show displaying the diversity. And like, I've worked styling runway. It is so hard. It is one of the hardest things is styling looks for runway because creating the clothes is only the first step to putting it out there. Is really how you style it. I mean, there's so many, videos on Instagram right now wearing something versus styling it. Styling it is totally different. So I think that would be so cool to diversify and to just show talent, like you said. Hands down that because I've been in that world and that is not an easy thing. It's styling.
Styling runway it is. All right, the last one. Mentoring rising glam tech talent or launching a fashion forward tech brand.
I definitely feel like mentoring talent. And I feel like I would choose that one because you can be talented but not really know how to put it out there, you know? And I really feel like some people miss the mark or some people get so overwhelmed by that and they could be so talented but they just don't know how to edit everything down and put it out there. So, and and it sucks because, like I said, the person could be really talented, but they're missing the mark because they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
They don't know how to really convey their creative side and what the vision that they want and everything. So I would definitely feel like definitely mentoring would be great because like I said, I know in like now that can be challenging for some creatives, especially because creatives want to do so much sometimes that you like, help me, help me.
I
I
can
got
see
10
that
things I
though.
want to do.
I could see that. I see you as a mentor. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I've known you for a very long time. I've always thought of you as like a big sister, more because your openness, right? Like you have conversations, even difficult conversations, but I feel like speaking to you makes everything okay, right? Like you know how to let somebody down softly. It's like, baby girl, let me let you know.
That is so crazy. I get that
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, but it's the
But
truth.
you know what I figured out in my big age now? I'm like, what is it about me that I can be so honest with people and they take it so well? And I feel like genuinely I come from a good place. I never give anybody feedback in a mean way. I never compassionate. I'm always compassionate because honesty has to come with compassion. There's some people like I'm blunt and I let it be known, and it's like that's like sometimes honesty and compassion have to go hand in hand. So you can be honest, but you have to have a level of compassion there. Like that whole being blunt and I'm just being honest, but you had no compassion. And I think that's the difference. And I always try to be compassionate and I always try, like I said, I'm never mean spirited about it. It's never coming from a place of, I'm trying to play you, I'm trying to shade you. I can throw shade if need be. Let's not get that twisted. But it's never, when I give that, like you said, if I'm telling you, listen, you need to not, it's never in a malicious, mean way. Like I said, I try to hold on to have compassion with my honesty.
I agree. And I think too, you're a secure person, right? I feel like sometimes when people are mean or they give advice that's just like weird or negative, it's because they're insecure. And in order for somebody to give advice but also receive advice, you have to have some kind of security about yourself. I mean, I think that's you all the way. There is no, in my opinion, insecure bone in your body, right? Because you know who you are. You know your experiences, you know, what you've been through. And so when you do give advice, it's based off of a loving place. Like, I'm not going to give
Hmm.
you advice that I'm not going to take. Right.
Right, right. And we were having that conversation. Like some people who are so honest and blunt can't take it. Those are
Hello.
the main.
Hello.
That's why I said like compassion has to be with you. Hold up. Would you want me to say that to you? Would you want, because those tend to be the most sensitive people. And that's why like it's crazy. Like you said, that is a whole nother conversation
So we got to bring
because
you back.
we have to come back about compassion and honesty because there's just so many people, especially like with so many podcasts and I'm just being blunt. I'm just being honest. But you have to have some compassion and with your honesty because as much as you want to be blunt and you want to be honest with people, everybody has a story behind everything. And sometimes I could think I know your story, but I don't know it. So I always come in compassionate because I could think I know, but it might be something you never share with me that I don't know. So that's why I said, like, let's start putting compassion with honesty and even putting it, if you want to be blunt and just say what, but still there's a way to have compassion.
I feel like you just answered my last question that I'm about to ask you. But before we close, I wanted to give you a moment to speak directly to women just leading in all aspects of life today. A young woman finding her path, or even a girl who's dreaming about fashion and tech. What's one truth or piece of advice you want her to hold on to?
I'm gonna give her the advice that I wish I got at a young age is that everybody is not going to get you and you're gonna hear no. But the no's that you hear from the outside world is not really the no's. There's only one person who could say no, and you know who that is. But I just really feel like I wish that I had that, like to hear no, because sometimes you're like, oh, well, no, well, it's not for me. No. One of the biggest when I think about someone who said who talks about that all the time is Oprah. She said that she heard so many no's, and if she would have listened to them, she wouldn't have been where she was at. She said there are there people think that, oh, you're gonna meet somebody, you're gonna be the next big star. She said nobody thought I was gonna be Oprah, who I was today. I heard so many no's for so many different reasons. So my advice to women is that if you hear a no, okay, keep going until you hear that yes. If it's something that lights you up within, it's something that you're passionate about, you're gonna hear no. People might not understand your see your vision or understand what who you are or what you're trying to do, but don't let a no stop you. Keep
Mm.
going. Keep going.
Well, y'all
Because I
heard it.
think one thing that the internet has told me, everybody got people.
Mhm.
Everybody. Like, I don't care how weird you think you are or how what you there are people with followings for everything, the craziest thing.
Yeah.
There are people who know nothing about fashion and dressing themselves, but they're online and there's someone who will relate because I don't know how to dress either. And she doesn't know how to dress and she just be going out and just doing whatever. And I follow her because she just does whatever and that's what I do.
Yep. You're inspiration to someone.
That's one your inspiration to someone. That's one thing I have learned about the internet. There are people for everybody. You anybody can have a following. No
Literally.
matter like I said, no matter how weird or crazy you think you that's why I said like you're gonna hear no's, but there are gonna be people that's like, yes, there's gonna you'll find your people. Like don't let the no stop you. That's what I wish and I would have heard. And I definitely, that's the advice that I'm giving to women out there. Don't let the nose stop you. You know, dust those nose off your shoulder, off your glamorous shoulders. Dust those nose off, and keep going.
Mm.
And did you have a question about the AI? Did I answer the whole question? Was it a two-part question? Did I
You
answer the
answered,
whole thing?
yeah,
Okay, okay. I wasn't sure if I answered the whole thing.
you definitely answered it. But if people want to connect with you, where would they be able to find you?
Glam Girl D on Instagram. Glam Girl D D
DEE, Glam Girl
D.
D on Instagram.
Yeah.
Dust the nose off your shoulders and keep
Um,
going. Y'all heard it here first from Damaris Carr.
You heard
Well,
it. Dust the
you heard
nose off.
you heard what the girl said, clock it.
Clock it. Dust those nose off.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Innovate Her.
Thanks for having me. I can't wait to do this again. I had a blast.
Yeah, we definitely got to have you back. But thank
Yes.
you. And y'all, I shall see y'all on the ones and twos. Let me stop acting like I'm a DJ. I'll see y'all later. Thank you for joining us.